All right, happy Friday. Welcome in the NBA tip-off show powered by WagerTalk.com. Plenty of games here in the association tonight, some fun ones. And we're going to break a few of them down for you, see if we can't find a couple of best bets along the way. Of course, we'll hear from the contrarian gods. We'll focus on a total in one of these games, and we will do it with three of the finest gentlemen you will ever meet at Wager Talk as Ski Profit in the house, ready to roll here and dole out some winners, as is RC. Mr. Ronald Kabang may have an attitude with the contrarian gods here. We're going to have to see RC. And the one and only Teddy Covers ready to roll here on this Friday, guys, the final Friday of 2023. So certainly looking to end it by cashing a few tickets here as we head into this weekend. We'll start with those darn contrarian gods here tonight. And Ski, they doesn't seem like anybody likes Cleveland here tonight. +6 is what we are seeing, and I do believe we are still getting, right around that. +6 here. A lot of tickets on Milwaukee. That line's not moving a whole lot here. The gods say Cavs are worth a look. What do you say?
Well, I'll start off by saying that, a lot of people haven't wanted the Cavs for a little while now. And
Including you.
Last game. I was on them last game. And they got the money. They had to come back to do it. So they've covered, 5 of their last 6. The guys that are out there playing, they're playing well right now. They've been without a chunk of these guys who are missing tonight for a while. They've been without Donovan Mitchell for 4 games now. So they're comfortable whether he plays or he doesn't. The only thing I don't like about the Cavaliers here tonight, or one of the things I don't like, they had to spend a lot of energy to come back from that last game. They were down over 20 points. And to have to come back, and I don't like playing teams after that kind of a situation. So Milwaukee, they've been playing good lately. They've won 18 of their last 22 games. Only 3 of those games were not wins by this margin. They've been the better offense and better defensive team last 5 games, even though Cleveland's been covering as far as the offensive rating and defensive rating, the numbers I care about. So I would lean a little bit more towards Milwaukee here. I think they handle business. And if Donovan Mitchell is ruled in, it could. He's been out for 4 games. It's been a little while now. It might take a little bit for him to get his rhythm. So I'll lean towards the Bucks in this game.
All right, leaning towards the Bucks here at this one. Let's hear it, RC. You and the contrarian gods have been on the same page a lot, and when you didn't like what they had to say, you would tell them, and you'd end up, who knows, being right here. But is it Cleveland for you, or are you leaning towards Milwaukee here tonight?
Yeah, I think actually the last couple of times that I went against the contrarian gods, I think we hit that. I hit those. So hopefully we do it again today, because I am going to disagree with the contrarian gods tonight. I think Milwaukee does get it done. Obviously the Cavs have looked good, winning and covering 5 of their last 6, but this is their first game home off of a 2-game road trip. The other piece is what Ski said, right? They've been dealing with a bunch of injuries and illnesses. Mobley's out, Garland is out, Mitchell's questionable tonight, could potentially come back. And I agree. I think if he does come up and play, there's a possibility that he kind of messes up the rhythm that they do have with the Cavs and the roster that they have right now. I looked at how the Cavs team does without Mobley, because I think in this matchup specifically, especially if Giannis plays for the Bucks tonight against Mobley, without Mobley, the Cavs are 7-3 against the spread, which is obviously a good number there. But a majority of these teams they covered against were against teams that struggle to score in the paint anyway. So it's not like they were going to be missing any defense. But they did lose and fail to cover against 2 teams that do score in the paint at a pretty high rate, the Magic and the Pelicans. And I know the Bucks, they're not quite a top 10 team as far as scoring and averaging points per game in the paint, but they're definitely versatile enough to choose whether or not they want to be dominant in the paint. And that's how I see them attacking today. Also, the Cavs, they send opponents to the line at a very high rate, and the Bucks are 4th in the league in free throw attempts per game. So this is a situation where that might be able to help them out and get up and over the 6 points here. Other things, Cavs as home dogs doesn't happen often, but when they are home dogs, 1-3 against the spread, they lost to the Pacers, Knicks, and Pelicans by double digits. They did cover against the Nuggets, but the Nuggets were without Jamal Murray. So for me, a lot of things are pointing towards the Bucks here. So I'm gonna politely disagree with the contrarian gods.
Oh, all right. Well, that means Teddy. If
Don't
you
worry.
disagree with the contrarian gods, oh, thank God I was going to say, because now I got to run to the window, and here we go again. So, Teddy, how are you approaching this game? Are you, and tell us whether or not if Mitchell goes, should we be thinking to take this number now? If you're looking at Cleveland, break it down for us as what you think is going to happen here.
Let me start. Can we do a 3-shot here real quick, if we could? Because
Yes.
me and Ski were arguing about this game on Wager Talk today, each and every weekday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon Eastern. We were arguing about the Mavs-Cavs game the other night. I had Dallas. He had Cleveland. And with a 15-point lead and 8 minutes to go, I felt pretty good. And then Cleveland did what they do, which is their defense down the stretch was championship level, and what the Cavs have been doing since Mitchell got hurt. So, Ski, you were right in that game. The handicap might not have been on, but obviously you got the money, and I was really freaking frustrated that night. I was pissed off. But this is what Cleveland's been doing since Mitchell's got hurt. All right. One game, it's Yang hitting threes. The next game, it's Sam Merrill hitting threes. The next day, it's Strus hitting threes. It was LeVert the other night. They're finding their role players who are stepping up. And they're really stepping up. There are teams that don't have their star. Again, the Cavs could be without, again, their top 3 scorers tonight. Their 3 best players in Mobley, Mitchell. And I only want Cleveland if it's Mitchell is out. I don't want him in and hogging the ball. But if Mitchell's out, this team's got great rhythm right now. And they're playing defense when it matters. Milwaukee, first of all, you live in Milwaukee all year. And then you get to spend 5 days in New York City. I'm not convinced we get the Bucks' best game tonight. Give me the Cavs.
I like it. All right. The contrarian gods, we got a split panel here tonight. It should be now an extremely interesting game here to check out tonight with Milwaukee taking on Cleveland. There is a featured matchup, which I'm sure a number of folks are going to be interested in seeing here, and that will be OKC taking on the Denver Nuggets, who dispatched with Memphis last night rather easily. And of course, I don't think anybody even came close to playing 30 minutes for Denver last night. But OKC is a different challenge, Ski, here tonight. How are you approaching this one? Second of the back-to-back for Denver. Are you buying them in this spot?
This is a very tough game for me. I want to start with the total before I forget to mention it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a system that I follow, and I use it more so after All-Star break, just because I feel like it goes with the reason I even put the system together in the first place. But the basis is two elite teams, and when I say that, I mean winning percentage greater than 60, and you have a high total for the game. It tends to be more of lower scoring games because down the stretch after All-Star break, those teams are duking for position, and it could matter for that right now. But when I add it into the query, you know, before All-Star break and one team is unrested, it flipped from a 60% under angle to 80% over angle, and that just kind of blew my mind. So I wanted to mention that. Maybe we don't see the best defense from the Denver Nuggets tonight. They are missing Aaron Gordon. We'll see what they do. From a side perspective, I know they care about this game. Michael Malone mentioned it in his post-game interview last night, said that they beat him last time and, you know, they want to get him back. They didn't have to expend too much energy like you mentioned, Joe. And if I have to look at last 5 games, although OKC's been covering as well, Denver's been the number 2 defense, the number 2 rebounding team. And that's the big glaring difference to me in this one. Nuggets, second best rebounding team. OKC, second worst rebounding team last 5 games. If they can own them on the boards, I think they're more than capable of winning this game. They were winning the last meeting until they crumbled at the end. So I think the Nuggets focus for the entirety of this one and get the job done as far as covering the spread.
Yeah, they're a team that can certainly get their shots up at the rim there, RC. Denver at home. I think the last time they played, Holmgren was just swatting dudes all over the place, man. It was like, what? No, get that shot out of here. Don't know if that'll happen again here tonight, but how are you going to approach this game?
Yeah, this is a tough game because both teams are to me are really good. I know they split the first two meetings, right? Thunder won and covered in Denver. The Nuggets won and covered in OKC. Both games did go under as well, I think. And then if you look at the Thunder specifically, I know they've looked good recently. They won and covered 5 of their last 6. This is their first road game since December 16th, though. They played 5 straight home games, and then on the Nugget side, they're on a 6-game winning streak, covering 4 of them. This is their third straight home game, but the second leg of back-to-back games. They did dominate the Grizzlies without Ja yesterday. They won by like 30 points, I think. And the one thing about the Nuggets on the second leg of back-to-back games, I know they're a little bit rested. I think Ski mentioned Gordon also out as well. They do tend to slow the pace down on the second leg of back-to-back games, and they also lock in defensively. When they're on the second leg of back-to-back games, opponents are 6-1 to their team total under. And the last time the Thunder were playing on a one-off road game, so going home to road, and then the next game is home again, they actually went under their team total by like 10 points. And so that's kind of like the situation that I see going on today. I think it might follow the same trend that we're seeing, throughout the beginning of the season. Whether they cover or not, the Thunder here, I think they still stay under their team total. 117.5 is what I've seen. That would be the way that I tackle this game specifically, because there's still a situation where they score under 117.5 and still cover the game.
So it's interesting, Teddy. This game opens up 3.5. This morning, 2.5. Now I'm seeing 1.5s here, and didn't think the market would fall that much in love here with OKC, but apparently they are. Are you in agreement with where the market is moving here?
So the question is now about Michael Porter Jr., whether he's going to play tonight for Denver. We already know that Aaron Gordon's out, but the money that's coming in now, I believe, is Michael Porter Jr. money, which could leave the Nuggets without a pair of starters. And I'd still be Denver a pass for this better. Denver dished 43 assists last night. You want to talk about a team that has ball movement. All right, 43 assists in an NBA game. You don't see that number very often. But it speaks to the chemistry for that team. Obviously, they're the defending champs, not a team you want to take lightly. And when you look at on the second of back-to-backs this year for Denver, they haven't been great against the spread, but they've been really good at actually winning these games. You know, they had one in Charlotte last week that they won. And I believe I got them 5-1 straight up on the second of back-to-backs. So not a team that we're afraid to back in this role, pun intended. Yeah, Denver minus 1.5. Some way I could look. It's just too short on the OKC side. I respect the hell out of the Thunder, but not in this point spread range.
Feels a little light for a team that has one of the better home court advantages in the NBA. So Denver leaning that way for Teddy covers. All right. We do have, of course, a game that we like to focus with the total here tonight, and none more fun than busting down. What are we up to? 251.5. Now, of course we are. Atlanta taking on Sacramento in Atlanta. 251, Teddy, and it probably won't stop there. Are you in agreement with just it's over a pass, or any value created on the under here?
Yeah, there's value on the under here. I mean, look at the recent meetings between these two teams. You know, they played twice a year, each of the last 3 years. None of them have gotten to 240, okay? And we're not talking about a dramatically different Kings team this year from last year, nor are we talking about a dramatically different Hawks team this year from last year. 120 to 117, 115, 106, 121, 104, 108, 102. Those are the last 4 meetings since 2022, all of which stayed under, and all of which the highest one of those totals was 245. This one's a good notch to above that. Now, I understand past results are past results and current form is current form. But I also know that both of these two teams are coming off losses in which they didn't play a lick's worth of defense. You know, Sacramento lit up by Portland, Atlanta lit up by Chicago. I would be surprised if we see enough defense to keep this one under This is not a game. I'm seeing 252s out there right now.
Woo!
Give me under 252 on the Kings and the Hawks.
So, Ski, both of these teams haven't been great lately. Obviously, a win would be important. I mean, motivated usually means maybe get a little more defense here. Are you buying that? You think maybe a little less scoring with these two tonight, or is it over a pass for you?
Well, I understand everything that Teddy said there, and these teams have, been going under last 6 meetings, everything like that. It's a very high number, so there could be value on the under. But do I actually want to play the under in this game is a totally different thing. I mean, Mike Brown has been begging them to play defense for years now, and they haven't been able to. So I don't think it's going to start tonight. The only thing I'll say is 5 of the last 7 games for the Kings have gone under on the road. They're a much better scoring home team. And the pace the Kings have been playing at lately is not where I would like it to be if I'm an over better. Other than that, I could absolutely see Atlanta speeding the Kings up and going back to being an up-tempo team. Both of these teams, very poor defensively. Kings, the worst defensive rated team in the last 5 games, and Atlanta also bottom 5. Both teams top 10 offensive rated teams. So neither one of them is going to be defending the 3 well. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for offense. I would personally only put my money on the over or pass.
All right, it's over a pass there. RC, you got to break the tie here, man. We got one value on the under. Ski's only looking at the over. What do you think we're going to get for a total in this one?
I can only look towards the over in this one. I think maybe you just look at this high total. I know it's high, but I think to me it's high for a reason. Games this season over with a total of 250 or more has been going over at a pretty decent rate, and not a high volume. Obviously, it's 5-2-1 to the over. The Hawks were in 3 of those games, 2-1 to the over, and the Kings were in 1 of those. They went over in that one. Also, I looked at this trend for this season specifically. I used one of the SDQL sites, Give Me the Dog, and when the pace for both teams are 99 or greater, and the total is 250, 240 or greater, the total has gone over at a very high rate. I think it's like 72%, I believe, 22-9-1 to the over so far this season. So when the books expect a high scoring game with 2 high paced teams, it tends to go over. And if you just look at some of the things for the Hawks as well, I mean, they've struggled at home a lot this season, especially on the defensive side of the ball, which is why they're 1-11 against the spread at home. But in those games, they're 10-2 to the over. And if you look at the King side, I think Ski mentioned about struggling road games, and them going under in majority of the recent games. But this is actually their first road game, non-conference road game this season. So I don't know if it's going to be exactly how we see the more recent road games go. But I know for a fact that against non-conference opponents, they're 4-0 to the over. And in those 4 games, they're averaging a combined score of 259 points. And none of those games went into OT. Real quick, going back to the Hawks too, 3-0 to the over against teams with a winning record, and the total is high, 240 or greater. In those games, there's no OT games either, but a combined score of 271 points per game in those 3 situations. So for me, I can only look towards the over. It's not what I have in my card, but it's looking like it could potentially get there. This is probably a situation it's over or nothing for me.
Ooh, all right. I'm getting a little over or pass here for RC. Going to make this a very interesting game here tonight, especially the way Atlanta just loves to turn the ball over there. All right. That leaves us with some intriguing spots. Let's see. 1, 2. Well, we got a whole lot of dogs that could be barking here tonight. Before we go ahead and show these dogs to you and get a couple of them that these guys might be looking at barking. Show rule, nobody can pick Aaron Gordon. Just throwing that out there. He's not on the list. Can't be anybody's favorite dog here tonight. However, if you do hit the like button, if you do hit the subscribe button, become part of the Wager Talk TV family, we certainly would appreciate it here, as we've got plenty of content coming up daily and all weekend long from some of the biggest matchups in all of sports. So, Robert, big list here today of dogs. Let's check out who's barking here tonight.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. When anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, here it is. We got quite a few here. The Magic, the Hawks, the Raptors. We got OKC. We got the Grizz, Hornets, Rockets, Cavs, and Wizards. A little something all over the board here, Ski. Which one of these, though, might be barking for you here tonight?
Yeah, I have to preference it. Sorry, I have to preference this by saying that I haven't made this a bet, but a dog I've been looking at all day, and I see it's been on the move. Unless I missed it, it's been on the move since we've been on the show. But I'll go with the Grizzlies, and it must have been on the move while we're on the show because the number is different. It's down to plus 4.5 right now, and I'm seeing that's because John Moran is going to play today. So, if I just look at the Grizzlies, John Moran is the Grizzlies. I'll say that. They're 4-0 straight up and against the spread with him. Absolutely pathetic without him. They are, however, 3-1 on the second of back-to-backs against the spread so far this season. And last night, the main guys didn't play that many minutes because it was a blowout. So they have, like I said, been playing well with Ja. Last 5 game stats say they've been a better defense, better rebounding team. Clippers do have the rest advantage, but I think Grizzlies can still keep it competitive. So I'll do the Grizzlies for my dog of the day.
Oh, I like it. Feels like it's been a hot minute since we've talked about the Clippers here, RC. Memphis, though, is a good spot there for Ski. How about you? Which one of these dogs is barking tonight, you think?
To cover the game, I actually think the Hornets can get it done. I know it's possible Suns get Beal back tonight at some capacity, whether or not he's at limited minutes or whatever. I haven't seen anything, but he did get upgraded yesterday, so I think he does play today. And I looked at how the Suns are when he's in the lineup. They're just 1-4-1 against the spread. Opponents are 5-1 to their team total over. I know the Hornets have been struggling offensively. They did go over their team total yesterday, so maybe that's some type of momentum shifter for them, at least from the offensive side of the ball. And then if you have the three, their big three together, the Suns, they've only played 2 games together, and they lost and failed to cover in both of those games by margin as well. So to me, I think the Hornets can stick to the 16 plus 16 or whatever. I know they've covered 2 of their last 3 games as well. They, obviously they got blown out, got over their team total and stuff like that in the last game. But the last 3 games they did look a little bit better. So maybe this is a situation where on the second leg of back-to-back games, the number's a little bit higher than it should be, and they cover the 16 points.
Okay, I kind of like this. A couple of big dogs here, a couple of pick 'em prices. Teddy, anything in between that you might think is a dog that could be barking tonight?
Sure, this one's right in between. Let's talk about the Raptors. The plus 6s are gone now. We're looking at 5.5 pretty much across the board. Looking at that WagerTalk live odds screen. But this is a bet against Boston tonight. This is Boston's third set of back-to-back games since they played December 14th and 15th. This will be, I think, their 9th game since December 14th. It's been a really difficult run for Boston. Of course, last night in overtime, they managed to find a way to beat the Pistons. Didn't cover the number in that ball game. But note the number of minutes that key Celtics played. Tatum was on the floor for 43, Horford for 37, Porzingis for 36, Holiday for 44, White for 38. It's like it's an 8-man rotation mostly for the Celtics right now. And basically 5 of the 8 guys played 36 plus minutes last night. We look at tonight. Tatum's a question mark. Don't know if he's going to go. We'll find out before kickoff or tip-off. Brown is a question mark. Holiday's a question mark. Porzingis is doubtful. Horford is out. Yeah, you're playing a team with the uniform that says Celtics. I'm not convinced you get the best performance tonight. Give me Toronto. Toronto's a flaky team, but I think they hang in this one. And they've done a good job against Boston. You look at the recent series history between these two teams, one close game after the next. I think the Raptors can hang within the number tonight.
Yeah, a lot of length, a lot of athleticism, causing them fits over the years there. So there you got it, guys. 3 dogs very well could be barking tonight, which means we've got 3 best bets to go over for these guys on this slate here tonight. Some great games here across the board here, depending on which way you're looking. Ski, you know how it is. We throw 60 seconds on the clock. Do whatever the hell you want with it. Drop us a best bet in there, my man. Where on this board are you looking tonight for a best bet?
Yeah, I really wanted to try to give Teddy a hard time with that last pick, but
I
you know,
know.
I kind of agree with him. So I'll leave him alone for that one. For my best bet today, I will stay in that same game, and I'll look at the total. You're missing a couple of. You're missing Porzingis. You're missing Horford for the Celtics team. Who exactly is going to be protecting the rim for the Celtics? That's what I'm looking at tonight. And off of an overtime game, like you mentioned, I don't see them, with a whole lot of effort to play defense tonight. Toronto has made it to this number 4 of their last 5 games, 3 in a row. Boston has allowed this number 4 of their last 5 games. I can absolutely see it being a more up-tempo game when they see how easy it is to get to the rim. So I'll go Raptors team total over 109.5 for my best bet for the show.
Ooh, love it. Team total up and over for Toronto in this one here. RC, let me ask you real quick here, RC. Just curious. When exactly does the Detroit Pistons win another game? Just throw a spitball here. Just give me a year. Who might be like? Just give me some sort of clue.
You know what? It might be tomorrow. It might be tomorrow against the Raptors. They're on the second leg of back-to-back games. They might put some pressure on themselves today to get the win, even without the Celtics guys. So it could be tomorrow. I mean, you never know. They almost got it done against Boston.
Because it gets ugly after that on the road there.
Exactly.
So not good here for Detroit. But what about tonight here? You got 60 seconds. Which game are you focusing on for a best bet?
Yeah, it's actually the Raptors. The Raptors, the plus the 6. I actually gave this. I did give this out to clients yesterday at +8, or 8.5. I can't remember exactly what. I'm pretty sure it was +8, but for the most part, I had a feeling that they were going to sit a lot of guys, especially on the OT in the second leg of back-to-back games. I looked at since 2016, unrested home favorites coming off an OT game they didn't cover. 5-13-1 against the spread. That's just 27.8%. And that's the situation that the Celtics are in today. If you even like take some stuff off of it, it's still a very good fade spot. For the most part, I think Ski mentioned it. Al Horford's out. KP is potentially out. That's a lot of points in the paint that the Raptors can take advantage of it. And they're one of the better teams as far as points in the paint. When it comes to the Raptors side, they're coming off a win and cover against the Wizards. I think they got some momentum coming into this one, and they don't have much of a look ahead with the Pistons tomorrow. So I'll go with the Raptors here.
All right. The Raptors here, going to be interesting to see what happens with that game tomorrow night, too, with Detroit. Consensus is could be the end of that record-breaking losing streak. I doubt it very much, though. Teddy Covers, come on, my man. Come on. I just hope they keep losing. It gives us stuff to talk about. Teddy, 60 seconds on the clock. Where are you going on this board for a best bet?
I am going down to Orlando, Florida to talk about the Magic and the Knicks. And this is a game. Look, when we think about these two teams, we think about these two coaches, Mosley and Thibodeau. We're not talking about two offensive gurus. We're talking about two guys who focus on defense consistently. That's the mindset of Orlando. That's the mindset of the Knickerbockers. And I know that the Knicks have been lit up each of their last 3 games. Admittedly, they played Milwaukee twice and OKC, 3 significantly better offensive teams than the one they'll face here. We look at the series history, and again, I don't like to go too much into series history, but at the same time, it's something to consider, especially when the coaches are the same. The last 10 meetings, there's not one of them that came close to this number at 227. Under. I expect more of the same tonight. This is not a shootout. It's an under at 227. Count me in. Magic and Knicks.
Ooh, there it is. Knicks Magic going up and under that total there. Great card here tonight across the board, guys. But don't forget, best bets for all 3 of these gentlemen. Locked, loaded, ready to go, not just for tonight, but over the weekend here, the final weekend of 2023, including the Raptors there that you saw. I think there's a consensus on the Raptors. I'm just going to tell you guys right now there. We got an over in that game. We got an under in the Knicks Orlando. And as we were doing this show, the contrarian gods were placing bets because now I see 4.5s popping up there with Milwaukee and Cleveland. That was your contrarian play of the day. So a lot going on here in the NBA. College basketball back in full swing this weekend. Of course, we've got more bowl games. We've got NFL Week 17, NHL. Little something for everyone, guys. Take advantage and visit RC, Ski, and Teddy covers over at WagerTalk.com. Partner up with them here and let us end 2023 on an extremely profitable note here. And on behalf of Teddy, Ronald Kabang, and Ski, we appreciate the time, guys, and certainly wish you and yours a very safe, happy, and profitable new year. The next time we'll talk, it'll be 2024. So cash those tickets this weekend, guys. Best of luck. Be safe. We'll talk to you again soon.